Hello, welcome to the Auto Better podcast. I'm Smarty, and tonight I'm joined by Mez, Adam, Carl, Gilly, and Jay. And tonight making a podcast debut is Ash. How are
Hi.
we all
Hi.
doing?
How are we?
All right.
We good? Right, let's move swiftly on then. Predictions from the Brighton game, although we probably don't want to dwell on it too much. Gilly, if you will, let's have the predictions from that, mate, please.
I'm not going to go through all of them because every single person predicted a Leeds result. The wankers won this week, I'm afraid, goes to me because I went 5-1 Leeds.
Lads, save me.
Oh, God.
I'm going to be honest about it. You know, I did save Jay this week, who went with his usual 4-1. So we'll come back round the room for predictions for the next game. But I think as far as Brighton goes, I think we just should move on now.
Yes, moving swiftly on. By the way, if you did miss our Brighton game, Baradi and Coke, the new sister podcast, which a few of us are doing on the end of every single game, it's still available, isn't it, Gilly? Still available via other social media and podcasts, etc. YouTube, I think. No,
it's not on YouTube. It's audio only. Is that one?
So right, it's where Jay, Adam, and Ash gave an in-depth analysis of the match, so it's definitely worth watching. So let's move on to the poll then. Every week we ask the listeners via a poll on Twitter to choose from multiple options to which the outcome is used as our main topic for the pod. The topic chosen this week is the pitch, and is it affecting our performances being in the state that it currently is? And I'm going to go to you, Jay. What do you think, my friend?
I think it's hard to say it's not at the moment. It's supposed to be, 25 years old now, the pitch. They were going to relay it in the summer, but the short close season meant they couldn't do it, so it's been put on hold. But the drainage system's apparently knackered because it's 25-year-old. The surface itself is way past its sell-by date, and they've been putting the old hydrophonic lights or whatever they call them on the
hydroponics.
Hydroponic. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's something like that. Yeah, it's hydroponic lights. I'm sure it is. Stop trying to confuse me. You fucking give me enough.
No. It's him and his nefarious deeds that he was.
Yeah, hydroponic. I thought
I know about that.
For growing drugs.
Yeah, well, it's also for growing grass of both kinds. So anyway, Angus has rolled them out from somewhere. We won't ask where. So they've been hammering the surface with that to try and sort of get a bit of life back into it, I think. Got the new floodlights up. That's sorted. Just the pitch needs doing now. But yeah, 25-year-old, completely fucked. Drainage is fucked. It's chopped up to shit. We've just got to make the best of it. But I think when you look at the sort of football we try to play, it's definitely got to have an impact because it's like a non-league pitch now, isn't it? After sort of Brighton game, when you looked at that. I remember when we used to be like one of the most modern clubs, and we had like the undersoil heating, and you know none of our games got postponed in the winter, but other people's did, and feels like a long time ago, that bygone era. But yeah, I think
25 years.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Feels like 25 years ago.
It worked.
No,
for longer than 1 year, Mez. They won 25 fucking year ago.
Well, they did replace the topsoil every season up until obviously this season when they haven't been able to get it in because of everything that we've had to go through regarding COVID and stuff.
Yeah, they did,
It
yeah.
has been replaced, but obviously all the underlying stuff, like you said, the drainage and the heating and stuff, that needs obviously modernising to some degree.
Yeah, that's right. And they, the states we've seen it in some seasons in recent times. I remember when it used to like be covered in sand and stuff. Do you remember that? Yeah, the goal mouth area used to be full of fucking sand, and you couldn't see penalty spot or anything. Yeah.
A channel running from Cop of a big ditch that were full of sand.
Yeah, that's right. And it were a right state then.
Did Steve Evans come in a sombrero or something when they played us?
What, to get in sand on pitch? His fucking bucket
flip-flops.
Sat in dugout drinking a pina colada, watching Rotherham.
Tell you what, you're a shit manager, but you're a mad fucker. But yeah, I mean, it's fucked. It needs doing. The club have said as much. They want to replace it, but they couldn't because of the short close season. And yeah, I think they've agreed it needs doing. Not much we can do about it right now, but yeah, it's definitely something they've got to get sorted as soon as possible.
Definitely. Carl, have you got anything to add regarding the state of the pitch and any, our style of play, etc.?
I think it's more well, exactly what Jay said. Really, like it just needs redoing. It does. It is having a negative impact on our style of play, but Brighton played on the same pitch. You know what I mean? And it's not like that's not an excuse. You like as a professional, you adapt to your surroundings. So I like there was a lot of long ball over the top, which we don't normally do. Maybe that was down to the pitch, and Bielsa didn't want to chance the game that we normally play. But they had to play on it as well, and they scored. So I don't get this blame the pitch and this and that. Everyone plays on the same pitch. Just get on with it.
It might not surprise you, but I'm going to completely disagree with you.
Yeah,
I figured as much.
I'm glad
So
someone is.
We played against a side of cloggers.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So, if you look at the way that we try and play, and we try and get the ball down, we try and play football, and the way that they play football it is long ball. It's big cloggers at the back and somebody quick up front.
Yeah,
they're
just get it away from goal, team. That's it for them. Get it away from goal.
But the way you look at that, right? The way you look at that, right? If that's the case, and they're a bunch of cloggers and this and that, we did the same. They tried playing the ball over the top.
They're playing it like that every week. Why not?
We didn't do it well. So if you look at the patterns of play and the amount of mistakes that were made in the passing and the touch and so on, it was very atypical. It wasn't a typical. And if you look at Dallas and his performance, it was potentially his worst performance ever in the league shirt. And I think Dallas is a dynamite player. He's been brilliant for us. I'm not knocking him as a player, but it affected him. And you could see that it affected him, but it wasn't just him. Across the team, they were giving the ball away. Touch was poor. If you're not trying to get the ball down on play, you're not trying to get it and work it through midfield and pass the ball quickly. You're just knocking it long, which is not a game that I don't believe we tried to play that game. I think we tried to play our own game and we couldn't. But equally, if you also look at the home record, going back to the original question about is it affecting our play, you look at our home record versus our away record, and it's obviously affecting the way that we play. It really is. And the fans aren't affecting it. It's not. Quite often you'd say, "Oh, it's the fans. It's the stress in the stadium. They're getting on the players' backs. It's not going well." That's not the case right now.
You know what? I'll agree with you to a certain extent, but I'll also counter that with the pitch was a shit show when we played Man City, and we were still able to play the way we play. It was that bad when we played Man City. We had that 2 weeks.
I don't know about that bad.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was quite as bad. I think
it was nowhere
when
near
you
as
watch
bad.
the amount of misplaced passes that didn't reach the destination, that's what stood out to me in that game, because that's not us. That's not something we do.
But if you look, I'm not really one for stats or anything like that. I don't look too much into it. But when you break them down and you look at previous performances based on our pass rate or pass number or number of passes compared to the opposition, it's dramatically over the last few games when we've been at home been reduced because of something. Now, we can only surmise that it's because of the pitch, because the playing surface isn't probably as good as other stadiums, say for Tottenham or away at the fucking shithole Theatre of Shite. There's clearly something affecting the way that we're playing, and a normal team will do 300 or 400 passes where we're 600-700, and that number of passes, that intricate movement and all that sort of stuff it's been reduced quite sufficiently, and it's there. It's as clear as mud.
Right. Okay. So
directly as a matter of fact, but it's definitely got to have some sort of consequence.
Yeah.
all right, if that's the case, then when we went to Spurs and we went to the Theatre of Hollow Myths and all that, on that pitch, we should play our game.
And we did, but they were better than us.
They were better.
Yes.
Tell you what, Carl, I thought we were all going to agree on this. I didn't think we'd start after having an argument with you.
Carl.
Oh, no, I'm not.
It's come to stir pot tonight, hasn't it?
This is what the whole thing is about. It's healthy debate, and it's my opinion.
It is.
No, absolutely.
It is.
No, it's true.
I just feel if, as professionals, they shouldn't, like we've been saying it for weeks, regardless of the state of the pitch, we haven't been finding our first pass out of, once it gets from KP to the midfield, we've been sloppy with our passes, and we've been saying it for weeks, and we can't blame the pitch for that. And that's my thinking behind that is that we can't blame the pitch. We've been sloppy in areas passing forward for weeks, and that's again, this is a debate, and it's why we do the podcast, because we enjoy this kind of chat. But I think it's been happening for weeks. It's not just the pitch.
No,
No, you can't just blame one thing.
No, you can't. Like it has been happening. We've been more sloppy going into the final third for a lot longer than our pitch has been in bad shape.
I think you are right. I think you'd be naive to say that we're losing these games because of the pitch. I just think it's a contributing factor. It's one of many things.
There's no doubt.
The domino effect.
I don't think anyone's saying it's all because of the pitch. It's just add these things together. Performance levels dropping a bit, adding the pitch getting worse, affecting the way we pass and play the ball. And I think add them all together, it's you get what we're getting now, which is a
we need a new pitch. Is what you get when you add them all together. Like
a new pitch and a few more players.
It was alluded to that we would have had one at the start of this season. I think it's a 14-week process, and we only had 8 weeks of a closed season, so they just could not do it. And I think that's just the situation the club found themselves in, and it's just bad luck that it's fallen on this season. That they had the finances lined up, they had the work lined up, and they just couldn't do it.
That's it. I mean, Smart is a bit of an expert on how long it takes to lay a pitch and stuff. So if he wants to give us a bit of insight,
I can't say.
There's a big lie.
I'm not a grass expert, mate. I'm not. Anyway, moving on. It's probably time that we can talk about this competition. So every month we were looking at holding a competition giveaway for a chance to win a luxury prize, ranging from a quality Chinese timepiece.
I thought you were going to say Chinese takeaway there.
I'd take that.
Make sure you call it a Chinese takeaway. Let's not go down that road.
Oh,
yes.
Rabbit hole and half that.
Nothing else.
Not another speedboat, is it?
Chinese timepiece to a vial of Jay's wet look hair gel.
What, you said, a vial of jizz?
A vial of jizz.
Is that what you put on your hair, Jay?
Yeah, you were right. This fucking
I've not resorted to that
madness. You're a bunch of feral.
Descended into madness.
Information regarding entering and winning the competition will be available via our social media, so make sure you like, subscribe, and keep up to date through that. So, Newcastle. What are we saying? Mez, I'm going to come to you. What do you think we're going to do against Newcastle? Is it going to be history repeating itself, or are we going to struggle?
Yeah, mate. I can't see past another Leeds win. Obviously, we've got the bonus of it not being at Ellen Road, which is unbelievable. That I'm actually going to say that, but we're going to be playing away on a decent dance floor. I think the boys will react quite well. Won't be so boggy, and I think we've got quite a lot of fair weather players as well. To be fair, some people who like to play on a nice pitch. I think there's one or two of them that probably didn't like going down and then playing 45 minutes at Crawley. I'm not going to name any names because it's not my style to slag any players off. But yeah, yeah, basically. But yeah, I just think some people, some of our team will react a lot better. We'll have it, and they've been shit. To be fair, like last night they got hammered by was it Arsenal last night? 3-0.
Yeah,
3-0.
Wasn't it? Been beat twice by Arsenal in the last 3 games, I think.
Yeah, and I just think we showed far too much for him at home. What did we beat? Was it 4-1, 5-2? What was the score?
We beat him 5-2.
5-2, yeah. And I just can't see Steve Bruce being able to react quick enough since the last time. He's not reacted at all this season. I think he will be. He'll be probably the next manager to be sacked if Chelsea don't lose tonight, which they already are.
Yeah, they're just conceded again.
They're 2-0 down.
Get in.
I don't think he will get sacked.
That's a shame.
I think they'll keep him for now because Ashley's obviously actively trying to sell the club. I think he'll just keep him till the club's sold and let new owners do what they want. I think that's all he's doing.
But hasn't he been selling club for the last 3 years?
Yeah, but
exactly.
he's the unluckiest man in football, isn't he?
You can literally get a pair of gloves off Sports Direct for 24p a minute. That's how skinny.
Football keepers.
Are you
Tons of
advertising
that.
Sports Direct?
I'm not advertising Sports Direct. I'm
Let's try to get us a sponsor there.
not fucking Mike Ashley. I don't know, but yeah, I just see it's been having far too much quality for him. We showed in the first game. They were actually in half decent form when we played them the first time round, and we absolutely schooled them. I know, Adam, you had something to say, didn't you, about?
Yeah, Adam, what's your thoughts, mate?
I think on paper we should be beating them. The pitch, I think everybody's right talking about, the St James's Park pitch is going to be a decent one, and hopefully Rafinha and Rodrigo turn up, because as I've said on the Berardi and Coat podcast, I don't think they're doing anything for us at the moment. When the team's in a really, really shit slump like Newcastle are, I don't think they've not won in 10, 11 games in all
9 games, yeah.
9.
Yeah,
And
9 in all com.
9
I've
games.
got a little stats
Again.
Little Ash is coming out with the stats tonight. Sorry, carry on, Adam. Sorry.
That's right, mate. She's the key to this podcast, I think. I think I just think we lack a little bit of leadership and a little bit of confidence at the moment, and I just don't. We lack a plan B, and I know. I don't know. I just think I think we could actually struggle against Newcastle, because their luck's going to turn. Yes, they're playing shit, but we're not playing much better.
No.
And I think we're looking for everything under a bit of rose tinted glasses at the moment. And I don't know.
I disagree a bit there, Adam. I don't think we're playing. I think the last 2 games we've been bad, but I don't think that puts us in a similar position to Newcastle or Brighton at all.
No,
I mean, Brighton beat us, but yeah, I mean, 9 games without a win. Before Crawley, we were in some decent form. I think we were last time before Crawley and before Brighton, we were 7th, I think, in the form.
Yeah, I think
table.
7th or 9th, I think, in the form league.
Yeah, I think we're 9th now. I think we were 7th before.
Oh, well, all right, fair
Brighton,
enough.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But if you're a Rodrigo and you're a Rafinha, you're brought in to be this, these big players in the team. You go to Crawley, you come off at half time, team get dicked. You then go to Brighton. The players around these players, Rodrigo and Rafinha, I just don't know whether the dynamic is quite right at the moment. And I know this was a poll question and it didn't come out, but when you're bringing off Rodrigo and Rafinha so often, what message is that giving to the lads? And I just think, I don't know, there's just something not right. And I think Newcastle seem to be digging in. They've got a couple of homegrown players with the Longstaff brothers. And I don't know. I'm fearful for the Newcastle game. I think we'll turn it on against a better team. I think that's where we seem to be able to come into our own. But against these lesser teams, we just seem to have some kind. I don't know. We just don't seem to be clicking, and that's
just our luck as well, innit? Like they haven't won in 9, and then they beat us. It's literally just our luck.
Everything's lined up for
With
us.
a negative Nancy.
You just don't know
Everything
what's
is
going to
lined
happen every game at the moment. You have no idea
No,
where it's
exactly.
going to go.
But we had the same problem in the Championship as well. We absolutely annihilated the teams that came at us that were all in the top 10. And we absolutely nearly caffed it against the teams below us. So we have the same mentality, or the same kind of, it's a small team, we can't really play against them because, but you're in the Premier League, we should just be having it.
But at the same time, so they've, we talked about their most recent results, but their most up-to-date results, they've lost against the 2 worst sides this season. Now, Arsenal have put a little bit in more recently, but they were terrible, absolutely terrible, and they've battered them 3-0. And Newcastle gifted Sheffield United their only victory so far this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely gifted at them.
Never forgive them
And
for
Sheffield
that.
United are shite. So it's all lined up for Leeds to win. So we won't.
Exactly. Could not have put that any better.
I think that might be where Adam's coming from. Is just we build it and we build it and we build it. And we think, oh, right, we're on it now. The one thing I would say is 3 days before they play us, Newcastle have to play Villa.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a break, haven't we? Which is going to help. But
We've got a bit of a break.
I said this after the after the Crawley game against Brighton. Brighton had played 120 minutes at Newport, 90 minutes against City, and still looked the more energetic team against us on that pitch. And that's what doesn't add up to me. We're proud to be energetic and fit, but we looked absolutely fucked for the whole 90 minutes. There was no.
Yeah, we did.
There wasn't a period in that game where I thought actually we looked really energetic and we could score. I don't think we looked like scoring.
But don't you think
we had a shot? Did we have a shot? How many shots?
Well, they were the biggest game of their lives, so you've got to.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously we are relegation rivals with them, aren't we? But
I'm on about Crawley, not Brighton.
I'm talking about Brighton.
But in terms of the approach that was taken there, don't you think that's so? Because the games are irregular for us now, the players are used to playing 2-3 times every single week.
They're still doing that.
They were doing that anyway. So they were doing it. So they only do murder.
Anyway.
They only do murder ball on Wednesday. So you know they were playing twice a week and doing murder ball. Don't you think that it's because, we would have planned for a Southampton game that we're not going to get, and then there's an extra week where, we'll all be sat around. Twitter is going to be awful next weekend because there's not going on when it comes to Leeds because we're playing.
We're just going to go
because there isn't, because I'm speaking to a special guest this week, and they're going to be on at the weekend. So, yeah.
Well done. But I genuinely, I think it might be the fact that we're not playing as many games, so they're not at it, they're not on it constantly.
Nah,
bit complacent type.
I'm not having that.
Well, it explains to you why Brighton looked more energetic than we did.
So
they should have been.
From that you're saying that they're possibly getting a little bit stale. Then they're not.
Maybe
they're getting a bit lapsed. They did look a little bit lethargic. In my point of view,
the difference between being fit and being match fit. There is a big difference between that. It doesn't matter how fit you are. You need to work up to match fitness, and while ever they're playing fewer matches, it's going to be difficult to maintain.
Well, my point on this, guys, and I don't know what your thoughts on around this, but when you're a Bamford, a Click, a Dallas, an Ayling in this team, you're safe because there's nobody coming through to take your position. So if you have a shit game, 5 shit games in a row, in my opinion, Click's doing, he's been terrible for a few weeks. I've been saying this.
Yeah.
Who's coming in to take his place? Shackleton? He's being wank as well. Like, there's no competition. So there's nobody pushing any player. Look at Hernandez, and we said this on the Brady and Cook. Hernandez came on and just looked the most frustrated footballer I've seen in a long time. Every pass was either a yard short, a yard too far, to the left, to the right. Dallas weren't quite there when he was, when Hernandez was trying to play him through. But there's no competition for places. There's nothing. We all know Click is going to start. We all know Calvin's going to start. Fuck me, Bielsa tells everybody who's going to start. These players are in their comfort zones, and so they might be tired. They might, There's nothing to drive them forward, and it's the new players. It's Rodrigo and Rafinha who are getting pulled to the likes of Paveda and fucking Shackleton or a 36-year-old Pablo who just isn't up for it in the Premiership, in my opinion. So, what can we do?
But really? Bielsa set him up for that. Bielsa has set himself up for that by having such a light squad, and he wants a light squad. He doesn't want the dissatisfied players on the bench that he needs to deal with. He wants a paper thin squad. So that's his problem that he's caused by taking that approach.
Well, I completely agree. But when we're saying about the murder balls on the Leicester, when they're not playing enough football, when they should be fresh, they should be ready to go. Because they're not playing as many games. So physically, they should be in peak condition. But mentally, are they there? Because they're not.
Great point.
Being mentally.
I think I agree to a degree. But this week, or should I say against Newcastle, we're offered a boost by having a few players back. It looks like Llorente is looking like he might be coming back into the squad. We've got Cooper that's back, and he played pretty well on against Brighton. Credit to him. Hang
on a minute. Are you all right?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. That might shock some of you.
Wow.
Some of you are sat down.
Have you got a fever? You continue with Scott.
Just getting beer sweats. Just beer
Just
sweats.
to add to that quickly, and I know it was another poll question, but Casilla steady as fuck as well. I'll leave it at that.
Like I said, there were a couple of solid performances from the old school
yeah.
types. But, you know, obviously we've got Calvin coming back into the squad, which means Struick may end up finding himself up at the centre-back, either partnering Cooper or dropping to the bench and having Llorente coming back in. That's going to obviously be up to Bielsa. But for a number of weeks now, we've been, you know, relatively short on positions. We're having players playing different positions. We've had no consistency. That together with other elements like dodgy pitches and all that sort of stuff, these have got to be massive benefiting factors that we've got to, you know, we can't overlook too much. So I think this next game coming up against Newcastle, I think we've got to look at it as a complete fresh start and a bit of a boost to get some of our regular players back together.
It's a question for you. Because
Can,
he didn't particularly do anything wrong. Will Casilla play against Newcastle if Melly is back?
Well,
Mesley's
No, he won't. No. It's no chance.
Mesley's not back. He's
Yeah,
not fit yet.
Even for Newcastle.
I mean, it will be for Newcastle, but he's still on my fantasy Premier League. He's still classed as.
Bielsa doesn't tend to drop players though, unless they do something wrong.
Oh no, Mesley will walk straight back in.
I think
Yeah,
he's straight
he
back
will.
in. If he's fit, he's in.
Be interested.
He's the first choice keeper.
If he's match fit, he's in straight up.
Can I just add to what Smarty was saying there earlier about Struick? The lad's a centre-back. He's not a CDM.
No,
You
he's
know him
not.
as a midfielder when we signed him, right?
I don't care. I don't care. He looks far more comfortable as a centre-back than he does as a CDM. He looks
Yeah, no, I
locked
agreed.
in that midfield. I can't... The one point is that against Liverpool, you would have thought he was standing next to Cooper or Koch for 3 seasons or something like that. The way he contributed to the game in a defensive manner in that game. He's not a CDM. He's not at all.
Can't control it.
I will never doubt Bielsa and say that I know more than him. But when you watch enough football, you can see that a player is suited to a different position more so than he is the position he's playing.
I think you're right. You know, you look at Struick, and I agree. These defensive qualities are there to be seen. You know, he's good at defending. However, there's more to Calvin's game. Leicester have just scored again, yay. There's more to Calvin's game than just being a defender. There's his awareness, his spatial awareness, he's able to pick
I think you're watching the highlights, Smarty.
What?
It's half time, isn't it?
Highlights, mate. It's half time.
It's half time.
Yes, did Leicester just scored again? Yay.
Anyway, back to where I was.
Oh, they've got another one. That must be 4.
Another 4-0 up.
Keep going, Smarty.
Fucking hell, you've totally thrown me there. So yeah, like I said, he brings to the table a lot more qualities than Struick does, and to find someone that can replicate that, you know, there's only one Calvin Phillips.
Agreed.
Anyone else coming into his position is going to struggle.
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't hopefully have any other issues. He's going to come straight back in the squad, and hopefully we'll get that centre a bit more stronger.
I think.
So,
just one last thing. I think the fact that Calvin's been playing in a first team environment for 5 years now, and to just step into a first team environment and first team football the way Struick has, he's done admirably. Like, you know what I mean? He's not let himself down in any way at all. But to make that step up is a big step. And Calvin's had that, even though he's playing a brand new position that he's only done since Bielsa came in. He's had that first team environment for about 3 years before Bielsa came in. And that's why he can play that role so well.
So, gents and ladies, predictions for the Newcastle game. Gilly, if you want to take over this one.
Yeah, no problem. We'll just go around the room, and I will go with the first person on my list is Luke. Where are you going?
Well, I've already obviously spoken about how I see the game going, so I can only see a comprehensive Leeds win, and I'm going to go with, just so Jay can't fucking say it, 4-1.
I can
Jay's gonna
still
say
fucking
it
say it,
anyway.
mate.
Say what you want from me, I said it first.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, Ash.
I'm not confident, but I just can't bring myself to say we're going to lose. I just can't do it. I'm going to go 2-1. Lee, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
It's locked in now. You can't change
Yeah.
it. Adam?
That's it. Don't let accept your first answer.
Fucking hell.
It's not golden balls. It's not steel or.
Oh, come on. You know he ain't got a mic. Let him speak.
Yeah, that's fake. I'm gonna go 2-0 Leeds, and I think
2-0.
2-0.
No problem. Carl, you're next. Okay, Jay.
Carl is refraining.
4-1, is it?
4-1. We're gonna beat them. Get back to winning ways.
Smart.
I'm going to go 1-0. I think they're going to completely set up differently to what they did last time. Park the bus style, I reckon.
Try and
But,
avoid
that suggests
conceding
that-
5 goals.
That suggests that Steve Bruce has got something in his locker.
That would appear so.
I'm not having that.
It may shock us all.
I'm not having that.
Crusty
Okay.
sock. It's a handbag to one of the early pods. It's a crusty sock.
Probably
that's in
Gary
his locker.
Pallister.
Fucking hell.
Gary Pallister's crusty sock.
Oh, he's kept it all these years. I love playing.
Oh, he's actually
with
Gary Pallister. He's pickled him and left him in his cupboard.
Oh, Jesus.
And just to finish it off, I'm going 3-1 Leeds. And Carl will get whichever is the most common prediction, which at the moment is 4-1 Leeds.
Yeah. 4-1. Good prediction, that,
You're in the
Carl.
4-1 club.
How am
now,
I doing
Carl.
in the league anyway? For non-predictions, how am I doing?
You're doing badly.
Probably
but
better than
considering
me.
you've not predicted anything. You're not doing too badly.
Oh, that's all right then. I'll go with that.
I'll put out an updated list on the socials so that everybody can see and we can all have a bit of a giggle about where we are.
Good.
Right.
As we were talking about Steve Bruce, and I suppose that takes us nicely onto the Hock Topic. Again, every podcast we talk about who we'd rather have that's managing the current team or the team that we're about to face. In this case, it's Newcastle with Mr. Bruce. So, no particular order, Adam. Are you going for Bruce or the Hock?
I hate it when I'm first on this.
That's why I picked you.
Yeah.
I like Steve Bruce because remember that thing on Twitter when they came in and they always it was that moment when you come into work on a Monday when you fucked up on Christmas party and you go like to the so for that I'm going to go Bruce on that because and maybe we can put I'll find the link and we can put it on our socials. But yeah, just for that I'm going to go Steve Bruce on this one.
Good one. The ex-scummer, of course. Carl, have you any improvement on Steve Bruce?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was very shocked that Adam said Steve Bruce and no one jumped on him like a wild pack of hyenas. Like I think
we're all just
sensible, yeah.
absorbing it, Carl. I think we're just taking it in.
It's all right. You speaking up, Jay, when you let Carl get torn to pieces.
Yeah. You take
not
a back
still
seat
with
there
me.
for a second, Jay.
It's not for me to.
You
Yeah,
joined
the
in.
charlatan.
Carl, you're a grown man.
Yeah, the absolute charlatan down at the bottom of the podcast.
Due to technical difficulties at the platform side, this week's podcast ends there. Please look out for additional exciting upcoming bonus audio content, the competition mentioned on the pod that will be released via Twitter, and the Statman interview and subsequent Berardi and Cook match review after the Newcastle game. If you're joining us on YouTube, please be aware that the podcast is now available on Acast and wherever else you choose to access your podcast content from. Simply search Orta Know Better in your chosen podcast app. If you're joining us from an audio-only podcast, you can also find us on YouTube. Links to the more popular means of accessing our content are available on our Twitter account bio @OrtaKnowBetter. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your day.